Hello, vinyl community. So today I thought we'd do something. I've just been listening to a lot of dance music from mainly the 90s and the 80s a little bit, and a little 2000s too. Mainly inspired by Michael 45 did a live stream a couple days ago, and really good on like house music, a little overview of house music, and Warp, the record label Warp, and really just got the blood flowing to hear some dance music. And so I pulled out a bunch of hip hop and house music that, by the way, we're listening to this rite of passage right now. This is a Detroit house track, really groovy and cool. Came in this cool package too, and came with these. It's nice when you get these. Some of my locals have these like first editions of these house tracks, and so if you're lucky, you can grab them. This is all hand painted on there, real cool. So yeah, so just to like, and some of these we'll go through them kind of quick, just because I know these aren't anything too special that you haven't seen before or couldn't tune in anywhere to see, but just stuff that I've been listening to. So went back and pulled out my Beastie Boys. Boy, this was great when this came out. A lot of fun, and you know, in a lot of ways for, you know, suburban Detroit, you know, kids, that was the first rap album a lot of us bought, and really good. And then they featured this on Michael 45's live stream, The Smoker's Delight. Really good. They featured a couple of other albums. I have a couple of other ones too, but this has always been my favorite. And I guess mostly for Night Allude. Great track. And but the whole record stands up really well. I listened to it the other day, and fun listen, and I think really kind of a, you know, a landmark record of that period. You know, this one I want to save because I want to show you this one. I showed this in another video. It's probably my favorite hip hop rap album. Public Enemy, you know, uncompromising, political, you know, just a punch right in the face of kind of mainstream American political culture. And I wish more artists would speak up like this. I mean, there have been. In fact, this album was very much inspired by this album. And The Last Poets, probably most well known for a track, When the Revolution Comes. And it's full of the language, you know, just a warning. If you listen to this is, you know, it doesn't pull any punches, and uses the language of the street and the attitude of the street, and it doesn't compromise in its attitude about who it's calling out, and where the problems are coming from, and that there are problems, because some people won't even admit that there are problems. And The Last Poets were amazing in that way. It's a record. I love this. Remember the whole trip hop thing when it happened? This was probably my favorite, you know, of that era. This first Tricky album, I really dug this. Just the loathing and the desperation, and the really creating an atmosphere that I really got into at the time, and I think it still sounds good. Tricky was a talented guy, still is a talented guy. But this has always been, you know, the next, a lot of people said this was the only thing he ever did. I don't agree with that. There's 2 or 3 albums that came right after this. Near Gods, I think, was one of them, and I have the CDs. But yeah, this is the Tricky album that I really dug. Then, of course, after the other Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique came out, and surprised at first. Some people didn't like this record at first, were a little surprised by it, but it has been a grower. This is my original still that I got back in the day. It's a cutout, and I always went for the cutouts because they were cheaper, especially when I was a little bit younger. And if I could find a record that had all the pieces and just had a little hole cut in it or something, I was always okay with that. Paul's Boutique, great record. I think most people know this record. So early rap record for me, and a record I have to smile when I see this. Kings of Rock, Rock the House, You Talk Too Much, Can You Rock It Like This, You Can Rock It Like That, This Ain't Funny, You're Blind. All this, the Electrifying Mojo people talk about, they talked about them on the live stream the other day, and Mojo would play, tracks from this for sure. And hold on a minute. If I can, sorry for the unprofessionalism. But yeah, this was tracks from this, and 12-inch mixes from this were something that Mojo definitely got into. Everyone knows this album, DJ Shadow. Won't dwell on this, but a classic, good record. Maybe hasn't held up as well as some others. Oh, this is a 12-inch that love this. Mind Is Playing Tricks on Me by the Ghetto Boys. Really groovy, and more killer sample and a groovy sample, but also a hard-hitting band, uncompromising too. I mean, they were certainly going for the gold, but at the same time, really a reflection of the American streets all over the country, and what has happened to the cities all across this country, where people want to talk about the growth and the stock market, while the cities in every part of this country have just deteriorated to the point of when people come from other countries and they see what Detroit really looks like, or New York, or Chicago, and they go into the neighborhoods and they see how people live. It's eye-opening, and something we've completely closed our eyes to. Nina Hagen, 12-inch of New York, New York. Love this. This was a lot of fun. Back in the club days, this used to get a lot of time, and I saw Nina Hagen live, and amazing performer, and yeah, this track used to get played a lot in clubs all over Detroit. Here's a little bit more mainstream of a house track. But one I can't help but dig. Black Box, Everybody. There's a particular mix of this. The La Freak mix edit is it does away with some of the more the more silly aspects of this track, and just goes for pure groove. And I think it's just does justice to the vocal and does justice to the groove. Fun track. And then a couple of compilations from different scenes. This is from the Australian kind of house electronic dance music scene from the 90s. And I don't know what the availability is like on this anymore, but this was recommended to me, I think, pre-COVID, and I really ate it up. These tracks have aged really well, and some of these will be people, a lot of folks will not be familiar with. Third Eye, Screensaver, but this holds up real well. Some real good late night groove, mainly on the deep end of things, but not always. A lot of great dance tracks on that. And then another one, I always like the Japanese house music scene, and this is a little compilation that I think does a pretty fair job of giving us a little window into what that scene was like back in the I think it mainly focuses on like the late 90s and early 2000s, or into the 2000s a little bit. But real nice Japanese house music, I think, really real special, and going much more for the melodic, detailed, organic sound. That's something I really like. And oh, this was so I took out an old favorite of mine, had it forever, 808 State, and along with it, the great 12-inch. This is a reissue. I found this, believe it or not, it's a Record Store Day reissue, but terrific. You know, this was the beginning of, in many ways, that whole, you know, that whole sound. This and remember there was a guy called Gerald's Voodoo Ray. Fit right in with this, and great dance music that I think still, you know, 808. It's aged a little bit, but it still sounds, you know, really good. And then finally, this was a record that used to get a lot of. I had the CD forever, and they finally did a vinyl reissue of it a few years back, more than a few years now, but. And I played it through the other day, and it still holds up pretty well. It's still sounds good, and three solid albums, and you know, at the time this sounded so fresh and so new. Great album. Anyway, just ran through some, I guess, recent listens. Is that what we call it? But just kind of wanted to show you what I was listening to, and maybe inspire a few people to go down the dance groove alley. So thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.